sir. Love you.
Well, let me first say that me standing here is a miracle. I know the Bible tells us that all have sinned and none are righteous. And in my life, that is a fact, Jack. I have hurt people. I have abused people for my own personal gain and just for the sport of it. I am a wretch. I was raised in a home that did not know what love was. Evil reigned on a daily basis. My father was not a father. My Father in heaven has taken his place. I am a little nervous because I don't know what I can and can't say. I know there's children in the room. So just use your imagination. Things were hung on walls of women. I've seen things as a child that a kid should not see. I've been exposed to things a kid should never be exposed to. And I carried that into my adult life. At 14 years old, I gave my life to the Lord. And to be honest, that didn't last very long. Not soon after that, I was locked up at 16. Spent the next 2 years as a ward of the state. And there's no love taught in there. I got released out of there into a life of, I was 18. I didn't have a daddy who taught me how to be a man. I didn't have a mommy who nurtured me. My mother abandoned me when I was 3 years old, left me in a crib with my dad, and walked out the door. I never saw her again until I was 12. I don't blame her. I would have left him too. My father went on to be the man of evil that he was. And I was raised by the rod and everything else you could grab. I was kicked out of my home at 8, told to walk down the street, nowhere to go. I was taught things by lessons of cruelty and no compassion. To this day, I struggle with patience, tolerance, love. I have this mindset sometimes that comes back of sissy men, men who complain, men who cry, men who aren't men. And for the longest part of my life, it was all about you be a man, a real man this and a real man that. I abused women, not physically ever, because I didn't want to be like my father, but I didn't treat them the way they deserved to be treated. I exploited them. It was all about my own personal gain. I've been through a few marriages. I have 5 kids. My 3rd marriage I thought was a success because the money flow. My priorities were all upside down. And then one day, the Lord reached down into my life, gave me a DUI, stopped everything immediately. All the darkness that I was in, and I was in some deep waters, some very deep waters. At that point, a man invited me to go to church. It was an independent fundamental Baptist church for a family invite, eat. And in my heart, I was just going to take advantage of the food, take my family for a free meal. That day changed my life. I rededicated my life to the Lord. And that man became one of my best friends. You would think that that would be enough, but it wasn't. I didn't have enough of the world. I wanted to go out for a second round. So I did. Got another DUI 4 years later. Done every drug you can imagine. Drink every alcohol that you could drink. Always searching to fill that void of a childhood that was stripped of me. None of it worked. One night I got a phone call that my sister's husband had a sudden heart attack and died. I came to Indiana in 2012 to console my sister with the intent of going back home on Sunday to stay in the weekend. While I was here, my wife called me and said she wanted a divorce. Unbeknownst to me, I had no idea anything was wrong with my marriage. Usually you know when these things are coming, and I was blindsided. Again, I'm convinced that the Lord had a plan for me. So I stuck around here doing little jobs, odds and ends, and I met a woman, my wife. She has taught me what it means to love. I stand before you right now like a crying baby. But I'm freer now than I ever have been. I now know what it's like to have compassion for someone. I know what it's like to be loved like a way I don't deserve. With the Lord's help, she has changed my life. There is no doubt that I do not deserve to be here. I've done nothing to earn it. So I take the Bible to heart when it says that there's nothing we can do to earn this and to deserve this. It is a miracle, like I said, that I am here today. I should have been dead, and I have died 3 times. But here I am. He's not done. I see you kids, and a lot of times you're not really paying attention. Sometimes you are. But this pastor loves you. Amen. I see it. This church is a good church, and there's not many like it. Another thing in my past is I've been in and out of different religions. Seventh-day Adventist. Some cults, you could call it, maybe. But the fundamental independent Baptist church has always been the most grounded, most biblical, most family-oriented church I've ever been in my life. And this is where I plant my flag. This pastor has got a good thing going on here. I've been in bigger churches. I've been in smaller churches. And I love the fact that I came across this church's path. Amen. You kids, you need to listen. Amen. You have no idea what's out there. And I know what it's like to be you. I was you once before. You guys got good parents. Parents that I never had. You're in church that I was never in. But that's not enough. That's not what's going to keep you. You're going to be tempted to go out into this world and taste what it has to offer. And I can promise you, it's going to leave you hungry for more. And it's never going to satisfy. You're always going to want more, and it's going to lie to you and lie to you. And sin is fun for a season. And after that, you pay the piper. And it's a price not worth paying. So I would listen to your parents. Those of you who have parents who love you. I'll listen to your pastor. Thank you. You're going to be tempted to go out into this world and to taste what it has to offer. You're not going to believe your parents when they try to warn you about what they've been through in their lives. You're going to want to find out for yourself and make your own mistakes. Like I said before, I had 5 kids. And my oldest son is one of those kind of kids. And because of my sins in my past, I didn't raise that boy. And that boy is hell-bent on being the biggest disappointment he could possibly be. And I pray every day for him. My others, they're good boys. I raised them. It was only because of the grace of God that they are where they are. Because I wasn't a dad that was the best dad either. I took my parenting seriously, but I had no daddy to teach me how to be a daddy. So please, if you take anything away from what I'm telling you tonight, take away that the love in the home is a very crucial and important ingredient into your guys' lives as families. You have no idea the devastation you wreak on your children when you're doing things that nobody else will know because they're part of the skeletons in the family home. Your children are affected, and they carry that through them the rest of their lives. I praise God every day that He counted me worthy to reach down into my life and to stop it, to pull me out of the muck and the mire that I was in. Like I said, I got to keep this as PG as it could be, and I'm okay with that. There's a lot of things I don't need to go into detail about. Just trust me. It was a life of violence and darkness, a life that I no longer indulge in. I'm so very grateful that I've been pulled out of. I'll end it there. Thank you very much for your time.